Well, just want to start this video off by saying, one, sorry if you hear me sniffling a lot because, like I said, last video, I'm very sick. And two, sorry I'm getting this up so late because I just got back from the doctor. And turns out I have an ear infection and a sinus infection. So, yeah, that's what we're rolling with, but we're going to make the video either way. Anyway, Rangers lose 3-1 to the Boston Bruins. And this one stings considering the fact that thank you to the New Jersey Devils because, of course, they decided to not hold on to their 2-0 lead with about I don't know, like probably 5 minutes left in the game or whatever it was. But yeah, so first place, that whole first place thing doesn't look like it's probably going to happen. But yeah, so that sucked. Before we get into action here, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. We recap every Ranger game here, healthy or not. I don't care that I'm sick. I'm going to power through this video, even though I already feel like I need a tissue and the blow my nose. I do not care. We're going to get through this. But turn notifications on as well so you know exactly when I upload. But let's dive into this. Little pre-game notes here. So it did turn out, shocking as it may be, Gallant lied to the media again. So Filipino is hurt and he will be out. And his replacement is the one and only King Julian Gauthier, who slots back into the lineup when you thought he was gone. And, oh, you thought that was the best part. Oh, no, it's even better. He lied about Andrew Kopp being hurt, too. We thought maybe he had a case of the shits. Maybe, precautionary reasons they were taking him out. No. He is injured as well. We don't know what happened with him. All they said is lower body injury, which is what they do in hockey either way. But regardless, he was injured. Both should be fine for the playoffs. Well, fine, in my opinion. I bet their injuries are more severe, but they're just going to play through it when the playoffs start because that's just what hockey players do. I mean, Ryan McDonough played on a broken foot in 2015, if you don't remember that. So, yeah. And then John Tavares, how about him last year? He almost died even on the ice last year, and he was getting ready to play in round 2 if Toronto made it. I digress. But you thought it was going to go away, but it did not. Dryden Hunt on the second line has returned because Andrew Kopp is out. And yep, that means Dryden Hunt moved up. And Greg McKegg, everyone's favorite New York Ranger, slotted back into the lineup for the first time in God knows how long. Oh, we thought we would never see those two, Julian Gauthier and Greg McKegg, and we didn't think that. Oh, we thought so wrong. I guess we never learn around here. But anyway, let's dive into this. First period starts. First chance of the game. It took a bit for the offense for both sides to get going. The only chances really that started early was a Fox chance that was kicked away by Allmark, and then Pasta tried scoring off the rush, but he missed wide. Outside of that, there was pretty much no chances. You got Kreider sit Charlie McAvoy on his ass before that, but within the first 5 minutes, it was split at one shot apiece, so not much going on in terms of action for both sides. Buxton had a chance from the faceoff dot, but that got gloved by Linus Ullmark, who had a thing today for whatever reason to decide, you know what, I'm going to make every glove save look like it is the best save of my damn life. And yeah, we saw that nonstop as Kreider, he had a shot, and then that was gloved. Strome and Hunt then got a 2-on-1, but Strome, he had his shot blocked because of course he did. Miller then with a bad turnover that led to a 3-on-1. Thankfully, Taylor Hall decides to shoot the puck, even though he could have passed it to David Pastrnak, wide open back door, and he decided not to, so that works out. And Gauthier then tripped up Lindholm in the offensive zone behind the net, because of course he did. That's what Julian Gauthier does. As Barclay Goodrow was about to set up Alexei Lafreniere right in front for a golden opportunity that he probably would have buried, didn't matter because Gauthier took the penalty. We go shorthanded. And shorthanded, Barclay Goodrow actually had a chance pretty quickly, and that ended up being gloved by Allmark because, like I said, that was a theme in the entire game. Bergeron then tried to bury a loose puck that was in the crease, and he couldn't bury that. But Goodrow looked like an animal. He blocked a couple shots, a couple passes, and as John Cooper said last year when Tampa Bay won the Stanley Cup last year, not many people will block a Shea Weber shot, but you know who will? Barclay fucking Goodrow, and he does that so well. But the Rangers kill off the penalty, and then right after that, DeBrusk decides to high stick Adam Fox in his grandpa chin, and they end up going to the power play, the Rangers, and Lazar will get the first chance shorthanded because why would the power play do something? Kreider then got a chance in the slot. That was stopped by Allmark. Kreider and Strome then got chances in front on a rebound from a Panarin shot, but they couldn't bury that. Frederick then got a chance shorthanded with the second unit out on the ice for the Rangers because the second unit just does not know how to play. And yeah, that was pretty much it. The power play looked abysmal, like we've grown accustomed to, honestly, as of lately. Too many men then for the New York Rangers because, of course, that's our favorite penalty in hockey. Lafreniere took a bit to get off the ice because it was the end of a shift. And, of course, I don't remember who was coming on for him, but they end up taking the penalty. Boston goes to the power play, and it looked scary, that power play, as Bergeron had a chance off a great feed from Hall. He could bury that, and the power play just kept moving the puck insanely well for Boston. And yeah, either way, the Rangers killed it, thankfully. Then the Rangers, 5-on-5, they honestly looked pretty good, in my opinion. The top three lines had, I want to say, a solid 3 to 4 minutes in the offensive zone, not all at once, because there were times where Boston broke it up and the Rangers would go for a line change. But the top 9 had some really, really long, good shifts, specifically the first and third line in that time frame. They just couldn't get a good enough shot, nor could they score there. So that's the only thing that sucked about it, because of course, and yep, of course it was going to happen because the Rangers looked so good. Mika had a chance also, but Ullmark saved that. But of course, it was going to happen. David Pastrnak scores towards the end of the period from McAvoy and Marchand, and the Bruins go up 1-0. This was where he was left open, wide open backdoor, because Jacob Trouba, what does he do? Lazy back check, as we see from him quite frequently. And Vetrano tries to stop him by doing a little one of these. Yeah, he couldn't get over to Pastrnak in time. And the Rangers go down 1-0 very late in the first period. And that was the end of the period. And that was it, in my opinion, the make or break, that being the back killer, I should say, of the game for the Rangers, as Boston got momentum going into the intermission. Rangers outshot Boston that period 12-10. Again, stuff like that could kill your momentum. We go to the second period, and yep, we saw that momentum killed right away because Taylor Hall decided to score only 1 minute and 7 in from Halla and Pastrnak, as this was just unfortunate because Fox tries to make a play and just an unlucky bounce, as Boston says, yep, cookies, and that ends up being a takeaway. Lindgren in a foot race with Taylor Hall. He couldn't catch up, and Hall scores on the breakaways. It brushes off Igor's shoulder. So Boston goes up 2-0. And you had a feeling then, yeah, the Rangers were not going to win this one because they couldn't get through the neutral zone. DeBrusk had a chance. That was stopped by Igor. Then the Rangers did have a couple chances. Kreider set up Mika for a chance, but Ullmark made a big glove save. That was probably one of the only non-dramatic glove saves from Ullmark all game. Halla then, he had a shot that was stopped by Igor with the glove. Second line then had a great shift. Believe it or not, just that, and score, of course. Dryden Hunt, yeah, he doesn't fit that line. I don't know if you're new around here. Vetrano then had a great shot off the feed from Mika, but that was gloved by Ullmark. Another one of those glove saves where that was honestly one that wasn't dramatic either. But outside of that, the rest were very dramatic from Ullmark. Hall then with a shot backdoor, and Igor kicked that one away, making a nice lunging save. That was one of the more underrated saves, I thought, from Igor all game. Bergeron then was denied on a wraparound. And then you have McAvoy, who absolutely levels Fox from behind, and Hunt decides to jump in, and it led to a 4-on-4. I thought they could have called a charging penalty on McAvoy, but the big brain genius referees on Twitter were getting at me. That was a clean hit. He was knocking him off the puck. What are you talking about? He was like 5 feet away when he saw that Fox had his numbers turn away. Yeah, it's not like Fox had his back turned to McAvoy pretty much the entire time in that sequence there, but whatever. They could have called it charging. They didn't. I'm not going to cry because that's not what lost the Rangers this game at the end of the day. But Trouba then went off for tripping Pastrnak because nothing really happened with Forrest's side. Well, it ended up being a 4-on-3 there. The penalty was killed, thankfully. And Panarin then tried to get one across on a 2-on-1 to, I think it was Hunt on that. Lindholm broke up the play, though. Mika then had a chance. That got saved. Strome missed a chance in front of the net because that's what Ryan Strome does. Vetrano then knocked Lindholm off the puck as he tried to get a chance after that. Vetrano, that being. And that ended up being saved. Period over. And my assessment of that period, lazy. That was a lazy period. There were times where it looked pretty back and forth, but you didn't sense a lot of urgency from the Rangers, and you knew when they were down 2-0 going in the intermission. This one was definitely wraps. If you didn't think that before, 18-10 in favor of Boston for shots that period. Then third period, Boston opening up that period with a great shift, and that ended up being denied by Igor. Olmark then took a delay game, and you're like, all right, the Rangers maybe could get back in the game here. And Lafreniere replaced Strome on the power play 1, which was interesting to know. And, it paid off as Lafreniere draws a penalty, making an animal move into the offensive zone. Carl ended up, I think it was a hooking call there. But yeah, he draws a penalty on that, and then Kreider ended up with the puck. He makes a beautiful feed to Mika Zibanejad backdoor, and Mika Zibanejad does not miss that one, and it made it a 2-1 game. And you're like, okay, all right, the Rangers could definitely get back in this now. 2-1. The power play is strong for the Rangers, even though it hasn't seemed that way lately. It is good, and they did just score on one, so okay, maybe they get back into this one. And Lafreniere, by the way, got a power play point. Woo! Something to celebrate. I think that's a victory for us. And either way, this game was on ESPN. Does it really count? I don't think so. But Kreider gets an apple on that as well. Mika Zibanejad scores. We go to the power play. And unfortunately, though, DeBrusk got one of the better chances as Igor had to make a huge glove save on DeBrusk shorthanded. And yeah, the power play did pretty much nothing. And then that got killed. Igor, he gloved a shot from Taylor Hall. Olmark then poke checked away a pass from Kreider as he tried to hit Vetrano in front of that, and that probably would have been a goal. So that was painful. And yeah, still 2-1. Nemeth then, he got set up for a great opportunity. That was saved by Olmark. And then, yep, if you really didn't think it was over, you knew it was here. 3-1 as Frederick buries one, thanks to a garbage bounce, unfortunately. And then a lazy, abysmal back check from Julien Gauthier. He just doesn't know how to play hockey. And oh boy, remember the time when in the expansion draft we wanted Colin Blackwell to be exposed over Julien Gauthier? Remember those days? Those were nice times where we had hopes for Gauthier, wasn't it? But yeah, this game I think was the last we're gonna see of Julien Gauthier. Where is Johnny Brzezinski, by the way? Sorry, just had to say that. Lafreniere then set up Strome in front for Olmark, and Lafreniere, that's when I tweeted that he should have had 100 apples in this game because he looked really good. Panarin then set up Lindy for a chance. That got saved. And you notice that Lafreniere was promoted to the second line. Hallelujah, no more second line Dryden Hunt. But it was too little too late as, yeah, pretty much nothing else happened in this game. The Rangers had a couple more chances. Panarin in particular with a couple chances, but didn't matter. Rangers lose this one. Shots in that period, 9-7 in favor of the Rangers. Shots in total, 35-31 in favor of Boston. Face-off percentage, 62-38 in favor of Boston. Rangers couldn't buy a face-off win if their life depended on it. We know Boston's good in the face-off dot, so yeah, you kind of figured that one was going to happen. And you didn't have Andrew Kopp in this one. Didn't have Hedl either. You kind of figured. Power play 1 for 3 for the Rangers, 0 for 3 for Boston. Yeah, that kind of was an Achilles heel for the Rangers as they could not buy a power play goal. Well, I guess I got one, but still. Hits 34-24 in favor of the Rangers. Great, baby. Block shots 17-11 in favor of the Rangers. Giveaways 9 apiece. Let's get into each individual line. The first line stays the same, that being Kreider, Zibanejad, and Vetrano. They were pretty solid. I would have liked to have seen a little bit better from them, but overall, the entire team kind of struggled. But they were definitely the best line of the day. Zibanejad had 5 shots on goal. My goodness. Kreider ended up having 4, and Vetrano ended up having, 2? They had a pretty good game. I like what I saw from them. Second line being, of course, Panarin, Strome, and Hunt. Panarin had a bit of a underwhelming game, I should say. He looked pretty good in the third, but first and second period, we didn't see too much of Panarin, unfortunately. Strome, he had 5 shots on goal, but to me, he wasn't that noticeable personally still. And then Hunt. Yep. Anyway, third line, Lafreniere, Gaudreau, and Gauthier. Gaudreau and Lafreniere, 2 thumbs up for them, especially Lafreniere. 2 thumbs up from him. He looked really good. Gauthier, we addressed it. Fourth line, today it ended up being Reeves, Rooney, and McKegg. They didn't do too much. I didn't even notice them really at all this game offensively. They spent a lot of time in the defensive zone. I can tell you that though. Wasn't too happy from their performance. For the defense, Lindgren and Fox. Fox had one defensive mistake, but at the same time, it was kind of a fortunate bounce there for Boston. I'm nitpicking there with that Taylor Hall goal, but I thought that they were okay. Miller and Trouba, they had a couple brutal turnovers, but again, nitpicking there. They weren't that bad. Trouba, though, with a costly mistake on that Pastrnak goal, in my opinion. You can't leave that guy wide open. And then the bottom pair being Nemeth and Schneider. They were decent. Nemeth was nowhere on the Frederick goal, but at the same time, Gauthier had the cover for him there, and he didn't. And Igor, I thought he was solid enough. I think that he maybe could have stopped one or two of the goals, but at the same time, he was left stranded most of the time by the defense today. With that being said, let's get to Twitter. Black Dog says, had a feeling that was coming. The boys played hard, but sometimes they just don't go in. Would have been nice to see a win on my birthday, but I'll take the incredible season and playoff berth. Well, happy birthday to you. Thank you for letting me know it was your birthday, so I can wish you a happy birthday. Yeah, unfortunate that they couldn't win there for your birthday, but overall, yeah, I mean, you knew they weren't going to win this game going into it with all the injuries. You kind of had a feeling, but at the same time, it would have been nice. I thought they put up a solid enough fight, like you mentioned, considering the injuries. I thought they put a good fight up. New York Style 24, hey, can't win them all. Happy no one is injured. Well, happy birthday to you also as well. Forgot to say that. But yeah, you come out of there healthy. That's pretty much what's important these last 3 games. Coming out of these games healthy. You already clinched home ice. At this point, you don't get first place. It is what it is. It just became very difficult. I just want everyone to stay healthy, and I think that we should just start resting guys, honestly, and just accept second place, perhaps. NYR 10, I'm probably late, but thoughts on Igor's performance. You're not late because I had a doctor's appointment, but Igor, I thought, played really well. This one was certainly not on him. I maybe would have liked him to stop that second goal, but again, that's nitpicking there. I thought he played well enough to keep them in it, but that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. And I will see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers, baby.